Hi, I'm Shadi Mokhtari. I teach human rights and Middle East politics at American, and I brought my democratization and political change in the Middle East course here today. I'm going to ask you two political questions, and I completely understand if you're not comfortable answering them. Perhaps I can convince you to talk to my students privately afterwards, but I'll throw them out there for you nonetheless. One question is, if I'm assuming at least one or two of you did participate in the uprising, and now that you see the humanitarian crisis that we're at now, was the uprising worth it, in your opinion? And the second question is an outcome of ending the war, but with Assad in power, something that's worth it in terms of the humanitarian cost as well? Again, I understand if these are questions you're not comfortable answering, but wanted to throw them out there for you.
So the first question was if you think it was worth it to participate in the uprising?
The humanitarian cost. If you were to go back in time, which none of us can, of course, but in retrospect, was the uprising worth this tremendous humanitarian cost?
Okay, would you like to take that question?
No, but what's the second question?
And this, in terms of the future, is it in order to get rid of to end this humanitarian crisis, having Assad in power is that an outcome that you think?
I think we both are brave enough. I'm okay, please go. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe I have no right because I was at the start of the revolution outside Syria. However, talking to all the staff and the team, it was legitimate ask. Everybody has the right to ask for democracy. That's why I left in 2001 even, before it gets so bad. So I know the humanitarian crisis is horrible and everything, but we don't want to be trapped by guilt to say, because of the crisis, everywhere, every revolution, we were reminded yesterday, the French Revolution was at the time, it was very costly. So maybe because now we have all this social media, we see it. Before there was no tools to see what happened during every revolution. So from that perspective, it doesn't mean we don't sympathize. That's why every day when I'm asked by my family, just come back home, I said, no. I'm staying like my stuff inside Turkey, you know, and Syria. Why should okay, there is a bit of trouble. Oh, are you safe? Do you want to come back? Are you on the plane to come back? No, not because I feel guilt, but I do feel guilt. I'm not gonna leave all the stuff because I have the choice to go back to somewhere safe. I'm there to be there for them, you know, and that if that answers your question. So from my personal perspective, yes. And we hope. We know that peace cannot be done without accountability. So the outcome, we hope to have a sustainable peace in future Syria. There will be a real peace within an accountable system, you know. And the biggest dictatorship of this crisis is the head of the government, is al-Assad regime, you know. And him personally, he is responsible. So this is my personal view, and we know that this is the reality. So we hope that one day the international community, those who have interest inside Syria, will decide it is time, and the Syrian people will not give up. That's why when the small window and that paper which was thrown inside Aleppo city where 250,000 people under the besiegement, they didn't leave. The corridor was open. I know there was no real umbrella. The corridor was open for 3 days by the Russian deal, which was, they decided. And they sent in paper, dropping it by the Air Force, leave or you will die. Nobody left. Nobody was holding these people to stay in Aleppo. They've decided to stay. Maybe that's also another part of the answer.